To the start of the agenda. Pam, Akaroa Wairewa Community Board.
Look, could I just say thank you for the support that we've had over the flooding over the last period of time, back since March. We really enjoyed the opportunity of working together with the New Zealand Transport Association and the Environment Canterbury and the City Council to resolve some of our issues. Although we're not earthquake-related issues, we do have flooding issues. And leading on from that, we have a meeting with Environment Canterbury, who rang and offered to see what they could do to help our board through the situation. So, you know, out of some challenging times working together, we've got some good opportunities moving ahead. I also want to acknowledge Andrew, and that we had recently changed our meeting time, changed our day, to find a day that was more appropriate, that we would be able to see Andrew a little more often. It is difficult for distances and the number of activities we do have in our board area. We have a number of other activities, like thinking about the sandwich boards in the town and how the town's not very happy with them and how we're not very happy with the number on the board. So we have education programs, we have freedom camping issues. There are a whole range of sort of working groups that we have at the same time that we like to have Andrew along to keep him in the picture of what's going on Banks Peninsula. So we just acknowledge all those that time that Andrew does give to us, and he is at the end of a telephone and keeps in touch. So we do thank you, Andrew, for your time that you give to us. Must be the morning for accolades. Well, it is very difficult and challenging, and to get the feel for Banks Peninsula, you really have to be there on the patch, understanding what the community is actually saying, and no better way to be with us doing it. So out of the agenda, the things that are important to us, well, everything's important, but the seawalls have been an issue that are causing considerable consternation to us. And there's just a report that was written by Derek Todd in 2008 that went towards the Akaroa Harbour Basin Settlement Study. And it says it talks about the results of the coastal range assessment showed that except for a few localised areas around stream mounts, very little change in shoreline position was detected in any of the settlements from aerial photographs for over the last 60 years. The possible reasons for this finding included that large tracts of the shoreline have been protected by seawalls and revetments for long periods of time. So the report goes on talking about the importance of the seawalls, and there's been very little work done on the seawalls in Akaroa Harbour and the bays, and we're just continuing to raise the profiles, and we have actually got a report coming back to council. And I can say that a number of our seawalls have had a few repairs done under the last few weeks and months, and in fact they're working at the moment doing on repairs on some of ours. For example, on Lovers Walk or Lovers Lane, if you happen to go to the lighthouse in Akaroa, it is having a little bit of work done on it to make it safer. And there was a comment from a community board person yesterday that someone walking with a pushchair with a baby and a telephone in her hand, somehow or other the pushchair and the telephone ended up down on the beach. The baby was caught, but the pushchair went over the edge of the seawalls. So you know, our seawalls are important to us on Banks Peninsula, and we welcome the opportunity of working to resolve those issues, of which they're starting to be worked through.
Okay.
I also wanted to talk about our lovely graffiti girls. I'm going to take every opportunity that comes along. Your wonderful graffiti girls.
Why am I amazed?
They're wonderful graffiti girls who, young woman that came over and spoke to it. Look, they just engender enthusiasm, and just delighted with what they talked about with us as a community. I wanted to also raise the profile of some of our walkways. We are having trouble with some of our standards of contracts on our walkways on Banks Peninsula. And one in particular that has come up again and again is on the bottom of page 4, the Nio Point walkway. Well, it's closed now, so there's really no more issues with it. It's just closed. But we are looking to improve the standards on some of our walkways. This was part of a subdivision, and has continued to cause us problems. So then, and just in closing, look out for the 175th celebration of Akaroa. It will be focused, I think, by the look of it, around French Fest in 2015, with a whole lot of other programs brought together, little programs that will contribute to an overall larger program and perhaps move throughout 2015. But we will keep you updated with that as we move through that program.
Okay, thank you. Moved Andrew. Probably you can second it as well. Seconded Phil. We'll put the report as a whole. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you very much indeed.
I feel as though we're in the drafting race this morning.
Oh, sorry, of course you may. Sorry.
Sorry, Pam, just
sorry,
with
Pauline.
the Naya Point walkway,
Yes,
just a clarification, you said it was part of a development?
it was originally part of a
So
development.
did the
that was done.
developers form that and invest it in council?
Yes, it was very poorly. It was back early days and very poorly formed.
You feel it was poorly built?
Yes.
And now we're picking up the tab for it.
You are indeed.
Do you think it would be a big budget to get it repaired? Just
I'm
at a
not sure of
guess?
that, but it is a very important walkway around our coastline. It's used often.
Okay,
Who
thank you.
actually has the maintenance contract for those tracks, or particularly this one that's been closed?
I think it's green space.
So, as a council,
The council.
Yeah, so
Yes, it is a council. Yeah, council track. Yes.
so we've got a budget for that and we're paying for it, but it's not being done.
Well, it
Is
hasn't been done in the past. No.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Been poorly done.
Yeah, I just noted the walkway that we have the same issue all throughout the Port Hills, to sort of make that known here. You know, walkways all through the Port Hills that actually have suffered through the earthquakes, and it's something we do need to look at as a council.
I wonder if it should go to the Environment Committee.